And a big thank you for joining us today, Tuesday, March 16th. You're locked on to the Wave 94.5 and 93.7 FM. It's time for Behind the Business, the faces of the brands you know and you don't know, the masterminds behind businesses that you support, the creators of products that you love. Behind the Business happens every Tuesday at 1 p.m. and that's brought to you compliments Quartz Ready Cash. If you're struggling because you don't have enough money for bills or repairs or an emergency, stop worrying. With Quartz Ready Cash, you can get the money you need now. You can get up to $20,000. No deposit is required, and the service is fast and hassle-free with same-day approval. You could go on and visit any branch or apply online at www.readyfinancecaribbean.com. You could also contact Quartz Ready Cash today. Start fresh with the cash that you need. Quartz Ready Cash, ready when you are. So today for Behind the Business, Joanna, she is a mother of two and the creator of Sak Sa. This project was born out of her desire to ensure that our St.Lucia Creole culture and traditions can be immortalized and passed on to our future generations. Let's welcome on to the program, Joanna French Leon. Hi, Joanna.
Hi, Masana. Hi, listeners.
Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for being part of the program. How are you doing?
I am doing fine, thank you. What about you?
I'm good. You know, in this these tough COVID times, you always have to check up on people, yeah? So it's nice to see your face in the place. It's been a little bit.
It has.
For all those who don't know, fun fact, we went to school together. We went up the Mon. As they call it, up the Mon together. And Joanna has always been this disciplined,
I'm listening.
always speaks her mind, very passionate about whatever she does type of person. And I think that has stuck. You know, sometimes you're like that in school, and then when you leave school, But you've stuck to that. It's just a part of you. So thank you for joining us, Joanna. And for all those who don't know, or of course you could explain a little better, talk about yourself. Let us know who Joanna is.
All right. So I am Joanna French Leo. Like you said in the intro, I am a mother of two. I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 9-month-old daughter. I'm a wife. I'm a professional. And I am the creator of Sak Sa.
Sak Sa.
Yes. And Sak Sa is a Creole coloring and activity book for children.
All right. So is this your first time taking on a project or being an entrepreneur? First attempt?
It's not actually.
Okay.
I've done several things in the past. I think the very first one in my adult life was something called U-ties. I used to have really long locks.
Yeah, we all know. No, it was called sister something.
My locks were called sister locks.
Sister locks,
But
yeah.
with all that hair, I had trouble finding things that could hold it. So I made something to hold my locks, and I called those U-ties. So I used to sell them a lot to other people who had locks. But truth is, I did that more whilst I was at school. I've also done U-cubes, which were the photo cubes. Kind of everybody associated with a Rubik's Cube, but that wasn't a good association, but it worked. So it would display between 9 and 12 photos. I also did hangers, which were hangers, customized hangers, more specifically for brides for their wedding day, because you know everybody gets that shot of their dress hanging. So rather than just having the dress on an ordinary hanger, I used to use colored wire and bend it to say Mrs. Leo, Mrs. whatever. And then I could also have incorporated the date of the wedding. So I did a lot of those. What else have I done? In the recent past, I actually created an app called Where to Eat, W2E.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I think that W2E was just a little too early. It kind of lost momentum.
I think anything related to that is still a little too early here. I don't think St. Lucians have picked up on that.
Well, because of COVID, everybody turned to online and their phone to get stuff related to their food. So W2E was like an app with the menus of every restaurant in St. Lucia. And the plan was to incorporate online ordering and arranging for delivery.
Right.
So I say it was early in the sense that, you know, we were not... St. Lucia wasn't fully ready for it, and COVID hadn't forced us yet to
get there. Right, it's true.
Yeah, but my latest creation is Sak Sa.
Yeah,
and let's see how that one goes.
So just to go back, you've had so many interesting and different ideas. Is it just something that popped up in your mind at the time and you're like, let me just go for it and try it out?
Okay, so with all of the ideas, growing up, my mother would always say, I don't know if it's an actual phrase or if she just used to say that, necessity is the mother of invention. So, at each point, I think I needed something, like with the hue ties. I had so much hair and I couldn't find bands or ponytails or anything big enough. So I solved the problem for myself. And there were other people with the similar problem. So I sold it and I monetized on it. With the cubes, I wanted a unique gift for my boyfriend at the time. And we had so many pictures.
And then he put a ring on it. So it worked.
That was the cause of the ring, but yeah. So I wanted a unique gift. We had so many pictures, so many memories. So I created the U cubes. Same with the U hangers. I was getting married, and I thought that the hanger was just too boring for the photo, so I solved it.
Okay.
And with Sak Sa, I have 2 kids, and I felt like we were not getting the opportunity to really practice Creole or really see a lot of traditional stuff. So I figured, okay, I'm going to do something to solve that problem for my kids. And so I had the idea and I acted on it.
Now that's a big resolution that you had to take on. That it feels like a tough task somewhat, because you have to get the book together, you have to get the correct words, etc. Now everybody knows my struggle with the language. I try, and it's not like I wasn't surrounded by the language growing up. My parents spoke it at home, but I didn't care to learn it. I regret it now. But at the time, it's like, what I learning? I speak English.
Right.
So
English.
yes, and now it's definitely a regret. So how did you go about, first off, choosing the name Sak Sa?
I don't think I chose the name. The name came to me. So it wasn't a conscious decision. I'm trying to think of a name. I had the idea and it just all came to me
together.
And I stuck with it. The choosing of the words, the idea was, to make it easy, interesting, and creative. So I decided to take the angle of having the alphabet and associating a patois word to each letter of the English alphabet. Now I need to make that clear. In Creole, there's the Creole alphabet. So like AN is considered a letter on its own in Creole. DJ is considered a letter on its own in Creole. So I didn't want to overcomplicate things. So I stuck to the English alphabet, A to Z, which a typical child would learn. And I associated a Creole word with each letter of the English alphabet.
All right.
But apart from just choosing any random Creole word, I wanted to be deliberate and choose words which were traditional in a sense. So this is the example I throw out every time I speak. So rather than B for ball, which is so generic, I chose B for boape. Right? So B is for breadfruit.
I had to think.
So gives parents the opportunity to start conversations. So you can tell your child about the importance of breadfruit in the St.Lucian diet, or for St. Lucians living overseas with children who perhaps have never seen a real breadfruit, who have never tasted breadfruit, and who perhaps may never know the link or the close association between St. Lucian culture and the breadfruit. Sak Sa gives them the opportunity to teach that lesson. Another one for the letter F, I have flabo. But I don't know if you know. No, let's not cause any trouble here.
Right.
When you're growing up, you remember seeing the boys in the area bursting bamboo, right?
Yes.
And they'd have the fire in a soft drink bottle, a glass soft drink bottle. That is called the flabo. Now, to be honest, last year, at some point in time, I heard bamboo bursting, and my daughter asked me, "Mommy, what's that?" So I had to give her a whole lesson about bamboo bursting. And to see me driving around the place trying to find where the
bamboos were being burst.
Right. For me to show her, right?
Okay.
And then when I got home, I had to search. I searched for a YouTube video to show her the process. And I realized, some of these traditions will be lost if we as parents and we as guardians don't make a conscious effort to pass
Keep it going,
on.
yeah.
So, yeah, all of that is being accomplished with Sak Sa.
So, all right. So, you said you started off simple and easy with the alphabet, but starting off the process in general, did it ever feel a little overwhelming for you? You didn't know exactly how to go about it. You had to think of who you could bring on board to help you with the project because you would need to outsource certain things.
Okay, so definitely, I cannot draw. So I needed an illustrator. So the whole concept of the book is that you have something that you can color. The child will color the image. The child learns the letters and the child does some activities and also practices penmanship. So I cannot draw. I am not a graphic artist in any form or stretch of the imagination.
Right.
And I would also confess that I am not a professional Creole speaker. Right. I'm far from being a pro.
Right.
So I sat down and I just thought about, okay, how do I go about this? So my first task was really to identify the words that I wanted to link to each letter. So I sat and I thought about I wrote out the whole alphabet and I chose words from my knowledge. When I got stuck, I reached out to friends and family who I knew were better Creole speakers. I know at one point in time, possibly my mother-in-law was probably sick of me because she speaks Creole very well. She was probably sick of me because I was calling her every 10 minutes.
Forward.
Calling her every 10 minutes forward and calling her to make sure I'm pronouncing it right, making sure that the meaning that I have in my head is right. So I know she was probably sick of me, poor job, but I appreciated her assistance, and my sister-in-law too. I really troubled them. So again, it's about finding the right people around you. Once I had most of the letters figured out, I now needed to find an illustrator. I reached out to certain people, some prices were a little too high, couldn't afford it, went on 5, and then I'm like, nah. I want to ensure that I support a St. Lucian. Times are hard for everybody.
Yeah.
COVID, people are out of work. So let me find somebody locally who I could give this job. And I remember, this is going to make me feel so old. When I had my locks, the lady who used to do my hair, her daughter was in preschool when I first met her. And she had always said she wanted to be a cartoonist. So over the years, I saw her grow up, and bottom line, now she's 18. I reached out to her with the idea. I'm like, okay, Maya, do you think you can handle this? And she's like, yeah, I can do it. I'm like, okay, great. Well, it's yours. So I reached out to Maya, Maya Simister. Like I said, she's 18, very, very smart, very talented. And I told her, the images that I wanted to see, and I gave her creative reign. So she illustrated the project and she did a fantastic job, and I was just so happy to be able to support a young St. Lucian. That was really important to me. And then putting the book together, I'm not a graphic artist.
Yeah.
So I wrote out everything, described what I wanted, and I reached out to a friend of mine. His name is Danny Shes Philippi. He's been my friend for over 20 years. I don't know if you remember him from Up the Morn. He was kind of quiet, so not maybe.
Maybe by face.
Yeah, most likely by face. So Danny put the book together for me. And then, that's basically it.
Wow.
Was...
Look at how people just fell in place for everything to work out by God's grace. Let's talk about how you were able to finance, because you did say that the first batch of invoices that you got were a little too, there. And for some people, that's normally the same issue that they go through, the funding of their dream. And you were able to execute it. What was your strategy around that to be able to make it work?
Well, fortunately, I'm employed,
right?
So I had.
So that's your side hustle.
Yeah, that's a side hustle for now. So I had some money saved up, but it's a scary time in the world. So I was kind of scared to use my money. 2 children, not knowing where the market stands, how long I would be employed for. But you know what? I'm like, okay, I'm going to give it a try. So I took some of my money and I paid the people who had to do the work. And then when it came to the printing, I paid my deposit, but literally the day I got the prints, I started selling. So when I had to, because I took pre-orders.
Okay.
I took pre-orders. When I got the prints, I started selling, and then by the following day, I had made enough money to be able to go and finish pay for the prints.
That's great.
Run.
All right.
So luckily, the project has been able to finance itself.
Right. Okay. Well, Joanna, how old is this baby of yours? Your third baby, Sak Sa.
This baby is, what's the date of today? March 16th?
March 16th.
So it is a month and 6 days old.
Only? Well, I have to say congratulations, because from the time I saw that you announced that you had this color activity book, then I was hearing it's already in stores and you could purchase it here. I'm hearing it's on Amazon. I'm like, baby girl doing it well. So how are you able to do all of that in such a short space of time? What was your strategy to get this book to become a success?
Okay, well, since it's so young, I like the proclamation that it is a success. And I hope that the sales will continue and I'll continue getting the support. So the actual book came out on February 10th, right? But I had the idea and I started working on it from around middle of December. So I knew the timelines that I wanted to meet. And I just did stuff in the background. So getting it on Amazon, a lot of people think that that's such a difficult process. But to be honest, nothing is difficult these days. The Amazon process itself is actually quite simple. And when I didn't know what to do, I just looked for a video on YouTube, how to publish a book on Amazon.
Right, YouTube University.
Yeah, you can learn anything there. So I just searched for it on YouTube, how to publish a book on Amazon, and they gave me very clear instructions. But admittedly, the Amazon process was also very, very intuitive. It's not difficult at all. So that was one step. In terms of the printing and putting it together, like I said, Danny, my friend, handled putting it together, and he's knowledgeable in printing as well.
Okay.
So he was able to meet all the criteria. Getting it in stores. I'm a sales professional, so
all right. So you tapped into that.
Well, yeah, but it's simply a matter of being brave. I picked up my phone and I called MNC Drugstore. Hi, good day. May I speak to your purchasing manager, please? And I had a conversation. I explained what I was working towards. Would you be willing? She said yes. And then I just followed up. Excellent stores, same thing. Nelly's World is just reaching out, going brave. I mean, there's a possibility that I've gotten a no, but it's not going to do me anything.
Now, Joanna, you're saying that like it's nothing, but to a lot of people, it's very admirable, because that little no, the possibility of the no, or no, we're not interested, or just being rejected for something that you've labored on, could have people running scared, could have people procrastinating to actually try and get that done. So it's something I'm sure a lot of people admire about you. And you've, like I said, you've always been like, Joanna, don't care. She will just do it because you want to do it.
Yeah, it has to get done. So I could understand that people would be a bit scared of the no's, but from a sales point of view, statistically, you have to get at least 12 no's before you get a yes. So if you're selling any product, you're going to get 12 no's before you get a yes. So rather than thinking of the no as a no, a rejection, a stop, just think of it. I know this sounds corny, but it's literally just the step towards the yes. So the quicker you get rid of the no's,
the closer you are to the yes.
Yeah, but luckily...
that was a word, Joanna. Yes.
Yeah, luckily I did not get no's on this project. But so for anybody out there, literally, the quicker you get rid of those no's, the sooner you will get to your yes.
Yes, I love that. We have to quote that. So you said your books are available at MNC Drugstores.
Yes, it's at MNC Drugstore, Baywalk, Gablewoods, and Bridge Street branch. It is at Nelly's World, which is also located in Baywalk Mall, and there's a branch in town. And it is is also at Excellent Stores.
All right.
The Johnson Center and on
Amazon. So persons just search for what on Amazon, because I'm sure there are a lot of St. Lucians in the diaspora who would love to share that with their children who, weren't born here, but they want to share the culture.
So to find it on Amazon, you literally just search the name SAKSA. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook. There's a direct link in my bio, but it's easy to find on Amazon. Search for the name of the book, or you can search for my name, but searching for Sak Sa is much easier. I would also say that St. Lucians overseas have been very grateful for it. I've gotten a lot of comments and posts saying, they appreciate it. It's starting conversations with them and their children. They're using it to Lucianize.
Yes.
I really love that too.
Yeah.
They're using it to Lucianize their children. A couple of people said, they're just happy to see it and they want to always support what's their own. And I appreciate that too, because that was my point of view when I chose Maya to do the illustrations. It's always important that we make a conscious and deliberate effort to support what is ours, right? So a lot of, I know the book is in Australia, the book is in Hungary, and my book, yeah. And when the person from Hungary posted, she sent me a message saying, I finally got my copy here in Budapest. I had to Google, where is Budapest? All right, Budapest is Hungary. So it's a St. Lucian living there, and her son would otherwise never know these things. Quite a few Canadians, Americans, of course. I know somebody in Germany has one. So it's really all over. I know somebody, a St. Lucian living in Japan, ordered it but sent it to her nieces or nephews in the U.S.
Wow. Yeah. I'm sure that must be a gratifying feeling that your hard work is paying off and you're seeing the support from all over. Literally. Now, what is the age range for the books? Because I know kids and adults could also, I think I need one because the struggle is real.
Okay, so the book was originally created for children age 3 to 6. However, I've gotten so much feedback saying, adults can use it, everybody can use it. But what I will say is that because of the activities in there, because they're alphabet-related activities and helping the child to shape their letters, matching capital to lowercase letters, coloring, what else? You learn shapes, you learn colors, all of that is in the book. So these activities are most suitable for ages 3 to 6. However, the vocabulary section of it, it's suitable for any and everybody.
Right.
Yes.
So let's talk about if there is any possible connection with you, the Ministry of Education, incorporating your books into the curriculums at various schools, because it's a cry we've been hearing for years.
Yes.
And I think too, if Creole was taught at school, we would gravitate to it. A lot more persons, especially the youth, would be speaking it even more. But we learn Spanish and we learn French, but we don't learn that second language that we speak. Is there any possible collaboration between you and the Ministry of Education?
So what I'll say at this stage, the Folk Research Center has fully endorsed and supported the book. Dame Paulette Louise has supported the book as well. I have a very nice endorsement message from her on my social media. Creole St.Lucia, which is a fairly popular Instagram and Facebook page, supporting use and teaching of Creole, has endorsed the book. I've reached out to... there is also conversation about formally incorporating Creole into the school curriculum. And admittedly, I was not aware of this when I worked on the book, right? I didn't know all of this was happening. Right. But I guess my timing was
perfect.
Yeah. So I've been introduced informally to the minds behind including Creole in schools, but there's no official agreement.
Nothing concrete yet.
Nothing concrete as yet, but I've been introduced. So I guess it's a conversation that we can have at some point. I will admit that most likely to end up on the school curriculum, there would be some edits that I would need to make. But at this point, there's nothing formal. Nothing.
Yeah, a lot of our for listeners on WhatsApp, they've been saying this would be perfect for the kids, especially at preschool, to start off from an early age. So call Joanna. Yeah. Preschools, call Joanna.
Well, I'm gonna get around to the preschools. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. But with COVID and everything, the schools have been closed. But that is a plan. To reach out to the preschool. So if you are in fact a preschool owner or preschool coordinator, or just somebody with influence within preschools, please reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to start a conversation.
So Joanna, what's next? You cannot stop here. This is the beginning of something big. You did it, to educate your own kids, and by that love and that passion, you've been able to educate a whole lot of people as well. And I didn't think you thought that would happen, but it did. I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward and asking you already when you drop in the next one.
Yes, so I've gotten a lot of questions about, if I'm going to put out more content, and I definitely will. So in all honesty, I treated this book as this project really as a birthday gift to myself. I put it out there on my birthday, which was February 10th.
Nice.
So, because of all the positive feedback, I'm thinking that I'm probably going to make it an annual project for myself to put out something at least once a year on my birthday. But I have some ideas bubbling in my mind that I may be able to execute even before next year.
Right.
So I'm hoping to put out more material all along the lines of Creole and culture. So it is definitely something that I would work on.
All right.
I just want to give one little funny story though. I posted this on my Instagram and I tagged you, but you didn't get back to me there.
When?
Early in the game.
It happened. Sorry, sorry. So
that's all right. Okay. That's all right. So I'm a little bit of a weird parent, just a little bit different. So for my daughter's birthday last year, I got her fowls. Yes, fowls. Literally 4 fowls. Well, they were chicks at the time. And simply because when I was a little girl, and I would find, I don't know, like to me when we were growing up, there were more fowls around the place. So they were just
eat all.
It would seem so. Right. Yeah, so there were always fowls in our yard, and ever so often I'd come across a nest and I'd find eggs, and I always found that very exciting. So I told myself I would love for her to have that experience to find
your
eggs.
First daughter?
My first daughter.
Okay.
So I got her fowls. So the fowls now are adult fowls. And, because they've been around for so long, so comfortable with us, sometimes they attempt to walk into the house. And, I would chase them and I'd tell them, sorti la, move there, sorti la. So then one day my daughter, she ran to the door and she started shouting, sorti la, sorti la.
And she didn't know what you were saying.
She didn't really know, but she knew when was the correct time to use it. So I taught her, it means move from there, right? And that too was the point where I realized, at that age, our children are basically sponges. They learn so much and they pick it up all so easily. So teaching them Creole or making the effort to teach them Creole at that point is, it's smart.
It's smart,
They're going to learn it. They're going to pick it up. And their brains are wired in such a way that they're not going to get confused.
It makes it so much easier. Yes, that's why it should be taught at a young age.
At a young age. They're not going to get confused. They're going to know what's English and what's Creole. So, like right now, for the little baby in the house, if she's doing something, I'll tell her, Jolie, pas fait ça. So, my older daughter will tell her, Jolie, pas fait ça.
Right.
Don't do that.
Break it down.
Right? So, again, it's just to recognize the fact that our kids they're super smart. Their brains are sponges. So let us do our part to pass on our language, pass on our traditions, pass on our culture, and be very deliberate with it.
I love that. And are the fowls still around?
The fowls are very much still around. I actually posted a picture of them the other day saying, really? big up my fowls for the inspiration.
Them fowls famous after today.
Yeah, and everybody loves their names. So I'm going to tell you the names. It's Chickly Boom, Fowl, and Hickety Pickety, aka Pecos.
Wow.
Yeah, my fowls, they provided some inspiration.
Wow. Joanna, this has been very, very enlightening, encouraging, and I'm sure inspiring for a lot of people listening. What advice would you have? Because you've done projects in the past already. You are a saleswoman by nature as well. What would you say to persons who have the ideas that, like you've had, they have a little something in them, a little spark to do something, but they don't have that courage or the determination probably to go ahead and actually execute?
Without trying to be cliche or anything, because I know this is the advice people get all the time.
Right.
I mean, literally just go for it. Give it a try. Ask yourself, what can possibly go wrong? What is the worst that can happen? You lose some money, but you go out there and you make the money again. But if you... Okay, here's a nice phrase for it. If you don't do it, you will always sit and think, I wonder what if, or what would have happened if I did it, or that could have been me. If you don't do it. If you do it and it doesn't work out, at least you have the satisfaction that, hey, I give it a try. It didn't go as I expected, but I tried. But you don't want to go through life. You don't want to go through the next couple of years thinking, boy, if I had tried that. Or you see somebody do it later and they're successful and you say, boy, I had that idea first. At that point, it's totally irrelevant. It don't matter. It don't matter if you had the idea. The point is you didn't execute. So don't be an overthinker. Don't waste too much time. Also, I want you all to listen carefully to this because it can come across a little different. Don't aim for perfection, aim for progress, right? Just do something, you'll get better at it over time. But if you keep waiting and trying to fix and make it perfect, you'll never get anything out there. So just
go for it.
Just try it.
I love that. Wonderful words, Joanna. What is your Instagram handles for personal, if you want to share, but for Sak Sa? For your followers to log on and check you out. Okay,
so for Instagram, the page is Sak, SAK _SA758. I'll say that again. Please go follow me and like all my posts and buy the book. So Sak _Sa758. On Facebook, it's Sak Sa, SAKSA. Personal, Joanna Leo. But I would prefer if you
just follow the official page.
I'm not going to give you too much work. Follow Sak Sa. Like the post, purchase the book. The link for Amazon is in my bio. Like I said, you can get the book on Amazon. So it's Sak Sa. If you're in St. Lucia, go out to the stores, wear your mask, sanitize your hands when you enter the store, and pick up a copy of the book. It costs $27 EC, and on Amazon it's $9.99.
Wonderful. And it's going to be very entertaining and fun for both you and the kids as well. Joanna, thank you so much for joining us. You've been getting a lot of love on our WhatsApp platform, and I'm sure on social media as well. A lot of people feel inspired after listening to you today. So thank you for going for it and putting out this great body of work. We're looking forward to whatever else you have in store. So we could put it out into the universe February 10th, 2022.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Thanks
for the latest.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us, Joanna. It's Behind the Business every Tuesday, 1 o'clock, brought to you compliments Quartz Ready Cash. And Quartz Ready Cash offers credit protection insurance on all loans. So with credit protection insurance, if you've been made redundant or you lose your job, you're covered for 1 year of payments. You can visit any branch or you can apply online as well at www.readyfinancecaribbean.com. You can ask about credit protection insurance, or CPI for short. Contact them today to start fresh with the cash you need. Quartz Ready Cash, ready when you are.
The home of modern music.
Get your praise from someone else.
I made no promises.
One kiss is all it takes.
If a girl touch me, me nah say me nah
What
be
you
that.
tell when you are buying new, be more careful, do you can find.
Stay connected all day, every day. WhatsApp us anytime. 727-4474. The Wave 94.5 and 93.7 FM.